Hey everybody, Matt Covey here today discussing what's going on with this home equity tax. A lot of talk about this during the election, different media sources saying there was things going to be implemented, and what does that mean? What is my take on it? I had the opportunity to make sure I was involved in taxes for a long time, so where do I think it's going to go, and then sort of like what is the most likely outcome? So home equity tax. Canadians, they introduced the regime for having capital gains back in 1971, and they do this to make sure any money you're going to make on certain things, you're going to pay capital gains to some percentage. You bought something for $200, you sold it for $400. Hey, that $200, well, guess what, 50% right now is going to be taxable, so you're going to pay $100 is the capital gain portion. You'll pay income tax on that, not on the whole $200. So what that means for houses is they carved that out a long time ago. Even back when they were introducing capital gains tax a long time ago, they were looking at different ways of maybe introducing it or not introducing it on houses, and they'd thrown around the idea of making it only apply certain ways. Anyways, at the end of the day, they just said, like, make it a blanket thing, apply it to everything, and move on. So we've had this all in place for 50 years. There's been some carve-outs, making sure that if you're an investor and you're flipping, they change the rules around making sure if it's less than a year, unless there's exceptions, you're going to get taxed on it as income, not take advantage of the principal residence exemption. They've made it so you have to report these things to CRA, but the home equity tax ideas, it's in principle coming from a couple of different studies. CMHC working with this group and this person out of UBC, University of British Columbia, Kershaw, and seeing what it is they could implement. It was these ideas, they government supported some studies around this, and does it have any traction? There's different ideas about whether there's tax above a certain level, whether there's a certain value of home, $1 million or more, there might be some tax that wouldn't be a good idea. Maybe we should make it annually. There's an amount of tax. You don't pay it each year, but it just gets carried forward, and then when you sell it, then you'll be able to pay it then. At the end of the day, none of this is stuck. There's no new policies. Nothing new is coming out saying you're going to be doing this. But I do have some concerns that it will be implemented, and I'll tell you where the source of these concerns are. So first off, I think that the need for money by the government is something that's going to start to arrive on people's doorsteps a little sooner because they're just in running these deficits. And what that's going to mean is whenever they go to implement new taxes, they really can't tax people much more. And on an income basis, everybody's paying a lot of income tax. So what they might want to do is carve out those big dollar value transactions so it doesn't hurt as much. Just, you sell something and there'll be a small portion thereof. And they might actually make it so it's not even on all of those transactions. I would think that if anything's going to get implemented in the future, it would probably be above a certain dollar value. Hey, if you made $1 million or more, we'll give you the first $1 million, but above that, then we're going to start taxing at a certain rate. And I don't know this because I've seen it or anything like that, but rather just it's my thought about what could be implemented, and the rationalization for it would be pretty straightforward. Hey, you're already making $1 million tax-free, so why not implement it? I am not saying it's a good idea. It's a principal residence exemption should be secured for anybody. You bought your house for an amount, you sell your house for an amount. It's certainly something that would secure your ability to make that amount of money tax-free, and it has been in place for so long, it should not go away. I'm not condoning and not promoting it going away, but rather just saying, I think the demand for government to need money from transactions is going to at some point create this rationalization that it could be supported, and the way it could be supported is on the ultra rich and them making all this money. So there's what it is. Now, further supporting where I think this could be gaining some traction, 2022, the OECD releases a report on housing and gives some ideas. There's a lot of great ideas. I'll reference this document in the comments, but there's some ideas in there around incentivizing green energy in homes and making it sort of the analysis of which countries implement what in respect of taxes on homes. When you buy it, hey, you probably pay some kind of land transfer tax and whatever that's called in whatever jurisdiction. And each year you pay some property taxes and that helps do some things. And then when you sell your house, most countries, they don't do this. There's certain countries that have a wealth tax. The OECD highlights this and says, if you have so much wealth, and that includes usually net worth, including your real estate above a certain dollar value, you're paying a tax. We used to have this in Canada. We used to have this in Ontario in particular. The Ontario government had this capital tax. So even if there was no any income taxes being paid by companies, they still had capital and they're paying tax on their capital. Very, very small percentage, but it secured year over year revenue for the government, even in bad times, for wealthy companies that had capital. So the OECD comments on this, hey, they have this. And one of the things that they suggest is maybe there should be a modification. One of the recommendations, maybe there should be a modification to what the home equity, the gains on home tax are when someone sells it. Maybe there should be a cap on it. And I leave it there. So it's up to you to decide. The ideas floated around, the government studied it, nothing's happening. I really don't think anything's going to happen anytime soon, but I wouldn't be surprised that it's in the back of some people's minds and what they're thinking about. And then in the meantime, the rationalization for it could be there. We need money. Oh, people are rich off their houses. And then, oh, the OECD, and it's up to you to think whether or not you think this government might be friendly to these types of OECD reports or not. So that's my take on it. I don't think it's coming too soon, but it could be. You never know. And I wouldn't be too scared of it just yet. There you go. That's your home equity piece from me. More to come. If I hear any news, I will definitely be posting it, and I might shoot another video to make sure people are aware, but I don't think you're going to see anything. It's a bit of a loss leader politically right now. Take care. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.